Hi, Drew. Thank you for coming on the Desi Crypto Show. Here we talk to different people and different projects about what they're doing in the crypto space. And we want to hear their opinions about the crypto space in general, blockchain, and their thoughts about India as an ecosystem. So, firstly, I welcome you. And we would like to know a little bit about yourself and about MetaFactory and what are you guys doing?
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Uh, yeah, MetaFactory is a pretty unique project. I'd say we're primarily a governance, DAO, and culture project.
Mm-hmm.
More specifically, we are a composable merch platform for decentralized communities, projects, protocols.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is we provide a no cost, no hassle way for projects and communities to create merchandise. And then we offer a marketplace and a unique sales structure for doing all that and kind of creating these positive sum alignments. Um, the other aspect is the products we're producing are physical merchandise, but we'll be offering digital wearable complements for use in various virtual worlds and game platforms. And then lastly, as I kind of touched on, we have a unique structure through Robot, which is our governance token, which is the way we capture and distribute value to all the participants in our ecosystem, including buyers, designers, people who help on the operational side. And for us, that's a lot about redefining the future of work and fair value capture, such that, especially in fashion, brands are typically this thing that are their own, they're isolated. As a consumer, you support by purchasing, you're passively. But we want to bring this to another level where everyone who's kind of a participant in the brand, including just the consumers themselves, are able to have a say in the direction of that brand and the values that it holds. So this has also been exciting because it's created a lot of positive sum network effects, and we're showing the possibilities of what these network effects can do. So it's been exciting.
Wow. So to sum it up, you are creating a bridge between artists, brands, and community with the help of, let's say, fashion or even digital physical goods, right? Like you are
Yeah,
creating hoodies, you're creating t-shirts, which are branded, and they can also be used in in-game metaverses,
right.
right?
Through NFTs and
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
we've created a creative economy that rewards artists and creators, technicians, people who help lay out designs and templates, and then also the consumers themselves, who we kind of consider patrons, that are helping to reward and sponsor and pay for these goods, but also in doing so benefit the artists and the creators that are creating these things. So yeah, and it crosses digital, physical, blends the two. So yeah.
That's very interesting. That's very
Yeah.
interesting. So you're actually integrating multiple virtual worlds and also real world with what you're doing. So what's your background? Like, what do you do for MetaFactory? What have you done before this? So little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man, I won't go too far back. I'm a
That's
technologist primarily.
fine.
I've worked in web and mobile application development for over a decade. I made the switch full time into crypto as an industry in late 2016. Kind of saw what the possibilities of Ethereum opening up real business and economic possibility beyond a lot of the dark web gambling sites and limited capacity that Bitcoin and kind of early crypto had. Um, and yeah, I've been involved in the Ethereum ecosystem since the beginning, consulting for various projects on the product side, product strategy side. Um, and I was doing the Ethereum conference circuit, which before pre-COVID, there was many in-person conferences all around the world. So going to these events and meeting and re-meeting and hanging out with all the friends that I've made in the industry. And, at a certain point, my entire wardrobe consisted of swag, merchandise that people would give out at booths and,
Right.
all the t-shirts and socks and all that good stuff. And, we were looking at the space and we were looking at, the constant conversation of how do we onboard more people? How do we expose what we're doing to a greater audience? And, we were all talking. So I was specifically, MetaFactory was kind of incubated and born out of a grant giving DAO called the Meta Cartel.
Okay.
And so I was talking with a bunch of the Meta Cartel individuals, like, we could do this better. Like, we could up our game just in merch quality and whatnot. We could also do some really unique like sales processes and token incentive mechanisms. NFTs were just starting to emerge as like an independent asset class. The idea had been around for a while, but like really starting to take hold, at least on like the art side. And we were thinking about how we could leverage NFTs both as wearables, but also just like the art itself being applied to prints and do some kind of crude copyright or licensing type models, which we've done. And yeah, one thing turned into another. We started a swag DAO, and then we ended up doing a rebranding competition with the community, which is where MetaDreamer, the other co-founder, came in, renamed it MetaFactory. And yeah, we targeted fashion first because it's kind of low hanging fruit. Merchandise is something that's great. Everybody likes it. It's great for community building. But yeah, we have a lot of goals, ambitions, and we're already working on some projects to move beyond just fashion to more like physical goods, tech goods, that kind of stuff. So it's really, yeah, again, pushing the boundaries of, these creative economies and how people work together and how brands exist with and amongst their like the participants, including consumers themselves. And yeah, it's been a lot of just organically listening, watching, adjusting as the community grows and kind of dictates the path we take from here on out. So I'm just one of the co-founders, but the reality is I'm just another robot like everybody else involved. So yeah.
That's a very interesting journey, right? Like how from conferences to creating a DAO and then MetaFactory rebranding. That makes sense. So I have a question. Maybe you already answered it. So I'll still ask it, right? Like, where do you think and why? Like, what are you trying to solve with MetaFactory? So that's something I want to hear from you.
Yeah, it's multifaceted. I would say the biggest things for us are, as I kind of touched on, this idea of the future of work, the way we organize, flat hierarchical systems, decentralized brands, proving these things can work. And not only that they can work, but they can actually be more beneficial. There can be more value captured. It can be more fairly distributed to those that help build the brand, help create the products, whatever it might be. Again, I'm a technologist, but as we've gone more deeply down the fashion rabbit hole, there's a lot of bloat and waste and inefficiency. And these are all things that from our perspective and like our ethos of Web3 looking at, we're like, this is totally backwards. Like we can do this differently. Like we should do this differently. And so I think like that's definitely a big part of the mission. And that's one thing that we're helping to highlight, especially like the positive sum, as I've mentioned, benefits of working with other communities to bring merch to their communities. But in turn, because of our robot rewards and distribution, they kind of get wrapped into also the MetaFactory ecosystem and these kind of experiences that come with the purchase of an item. Now you've received a token that allows you to participate in a DAO. You've received an NFT that's a digital wearable in these virtual worlds. And all these things kind of present these, again, experiences, opportunities to kind of go down the rabbit hole and better understand all the facets and things that are happening in crypto And it all starts with this very tangible process of purchasing a t-shirt or a hoodie or something, right? And so it's an easy way for people to kind of explore and wrap their head around things by starting with something that they're already like and they're going to want to wear anyways, right? The other big piece I'd say is we're highly focused on trying to bring forth the metaverse from an open, interoperable, permissionless kind of format. So there are many different kind of virtual world platforms that are emerging and doing amazing things, but they're very much isolated to kind of their own spaces. So we're trying to work with some of those groups, as well as from our own perspective, create interoperability for like our goods across multiple worlds and push those the
What does that
envelope.
mean? What does that mean for our audience?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
So basically, all these virtual worlds and or game platforms, they have their own artistic styles, graphic styles. They have their own constraints on how minting for like NFTs or wearables are done, or art. So way we're approaching it is we're trying to create an NFT that is basically the metadata can be updated in real time, and these different file formats based on what virtual world or game you might be looking to use them in, we can add those without having to mint something new and have like a single master NFT with, say, 3, 4, 5 different file types that would work in various different platforms or games or whatnot.
Right.
So creating that extensibility and that
so just to sum it up, you will probably create one NFT asset which will work in all these different games, or as we call metaverses. That's the basic
vision.
idea, right?
Yeah, that's the vision. It requires obviously working
Right.
with those platforms
Of course.
and figuring out with them.
Yeah.
And in some cases where like NFT minting or creation is permissioned by those,
Right.
it might be it's a little more tricky.
Right.
So but yeah, that's the goal. Is we believe like the future will be digital, and the future will be tokenized, and we're trying to kind of pave the way for the experiential and the consumer side of that, beyond like the heavy technical and everything that comes with it.
So I saw you did something very interesting with SushiSwap, right? They launched a hoodie, if I'm not wrong, on your platform, and within a month or two, I saw someone saying that, hey, I bought this sushi jacket and I got 15x or 10x rewards. Like, what did you do? Like, can you explain?
Yeah. So all of the purchases, all the products and the purchases of products on our platform will receive a robot token, which is again is our governance token. The market price of robot and the reward structure thus far has been quite profitable to those that actually purchase items, especially early. So that's been a huge benefit. In a lot of circumstances, it's actually been more profitable to purchase the hoodie or the item than not. It's been a net win. For sushi, we were actually surprised because what they ended up doing was, for the first drop, which was like the kind of the official one with their new logo and everything, they decided they were also going to do a sushi drop of 50 sushi for all the buyers. So we weren't even aware of this. And obviously we collect Ethereum addresses. And so we sent those over to them, and they did their own independent airdrop of sushi. So not only did the buyers of that hoodie receive robot, they also received sushi. And so, yeah, it was a very lucrative thing, but it created this opportunity for like the cross pollination of our communities. Like a lot of the sushi people found out about MetaFactory. A lot of the MetaFactory people were already aware of, but then now they're big sushi supporters. And it's kind of like these, positive sum, again, network effects of these things. And the community, the sushi community being very like DAO and governance focused, it was a kind of a great a fit for like R2, because again, we're a governance project. And so, yeah, we've actually moved on. We've done a second drop, which was like a remix done by a independent artist of like the sushi design. So that's actually the one I'm wearing right now. So yeah, there's no promise or expectation of sushi rewards moving forward. Robot's always there, but yeah, we do these things. Sometimes what we'll also do is we will take a percentage of the profits from the sales and buy up that community or that project's tokens. And what that does is we're distributing Robot out to the buyers and the designers or the brand, the community, and then we will actually take some of the fiat profits and then buy up, say, sushi in this case, or Wi-Fi we did before, meme we've done. And then our treasury, we hold the community, and we're now aligned with those projects and those communities. So we all kind of are looking out for each other. We're all supportive of each other. So yeah.
I mean, I would just like to talk about this a little bit more. You're talking about network effects, positive sum games. So, I mean, what do you envision, right? Like brands working with you, like where can this go? Like, I just want to hear your craziest idea, right? Like,
yeah,
like, and
I don't, yeah.
Yeah, like, and maybe, right, two brands working with each other because of you or something like that. So just
sure, yeah. Yeah, what the future holds is hard to guess, but I mean, we're already seeing traditional brands, mainstream brands getting into NFTs. We're seeing them start to explore like tokens and what these things mean. I think, you know, at being like a crypto native community, it's easier for us to kind of pave the way and demonstrate what's possible. Some of our most actually like popular drops have been born out of tweets. So it's very organic in that sense. And what we're trying to actually capture and celebrate is this crypto subculture. We're proud about like the ethos and the things that we're trying to build beyond the potential for wealth, right? Like a lot of people look at the space as very speculative and like, you know, they see it as an investment. A lot of us that are internal and like have been working in the space, we believe that this is literally the future of culture and society, and what this will unlock is far at a cultural level is far greater than just a new financial class or an asset class. So yeah, I mean, the future, we would obviously love to collaborate with these big brands and introduce them to like crypto communities through our drops. We really truly believe that consumers shouldn't just be passive participants in these things. They should have a say. They should be able to kind of direct and participate in these things. They should be rewarded for that participation. So being able to actually bring that not only to brands and their relationships to consumers, but brands and their relationships with their artists, their garment makers, the fabric, the embroiders, the guys who are picking the cotton, like everybody in the line should actually be rewarded, and everybody should like be kind of put on a level playing field. And these are the flat hierarchies and organizational benefits that we think like we're trying to highlight and show, and hopefully we'll attract some, you know, legacy eyes that are excited about what we're doing, and yeah, will experiment or work with us. So
that's pretty interesting, I must say. Quick question for you: what can, let's say, brands and even creators do to work with you, and like what do you guys do? Like how does
yeah,
it work?
it's completely open and permissionless. So we have artists and creators come in on a daily basis. The best place for that conversation to start is our Discord. So people will come into the Discord, they'll introduce themselves, talk about what they do. Most recently, we've actually had quite a few garment makers and like actual fashion designers come through, and that's exciting. So it seems like people who are in the industry, not the brands themselves, but like, again, the pattern makers, the people who are doing amazing new cuts and blank designs, zero waste designs, all sorts of cool stuff, jewelry makers. they're all kind of popping in and saying like, hey, I really like to participate in this and support. So it's very bottom up versus top down. So yeah, I would say if you are interested, it's as simple as pinging us on
Discord.
Discord or pinging us on Twitter. We're totally open and anybody can jump in. So
So I want you to talk about, this is very interesting. I want you to talk about your Genesis drop and where was it featured? Like there was a video which went
oh
pretty
yeah.
viral, right? So can you talk about that?
Yeah, so we started like officially the kind of the whole effort and the platform with a limited edition reversible bomber jacket. There were 42. It was sold out amongst like kind of all the community members who had been following us or working with us along the way. Um, and yeah, that kind of like was the initial community and kind of the initial base. And then we started to move from there. Um, it, it's really unique too, because it has some special hardware in there that's essentially a cold wallet, a hardware wallet that's like sewn into the actual fabric. And it allows you to verify the authenticity. It'll also allow you to like track ownership history if you were to start selling these things on the secondary market, which again, something we're working on. But yeah, it was featured because one of those original community members, being MetaKovan, was interviewed. I forget the name.
Nas Daily.
Yeah,
If
Nas
I'm not wrong.
Daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a Facebook spot
Right.
talking about the Beeple purchase and investment that MetaKovan and the
Right.
MetaPurse fund had made.
Right.
And in there, he showed off the jacket and he was wearing one of our shirts and he was wearing one of our joggers. I'm pretty sure he has the whole wardrobe, everything, all the collections we've dropped.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you could kind of see his excitement, and
Yeah.
that was really great for us too, because what the MetaPurse team are trying to do with B20 and how they've tokenized the Beeple drops and the galleries in the virtual worlds, and that gives everyone a chance to kind of own and be a part of that community, as well as have a piece of these amazing pieces of art that are so now historic. They're very aligned in that same kind of like democratizing of ownership and shared like kind of collective good. So, which is great.
So can we expect a Beeple hoodie if you guys are collaborating? Is that something we can expect?
We are collaborating with the B20 team. We actually have a B20 bomber jacket coming in the next couple days.
Wow.
And then we have also a B20 t-shirt, which takes a slice of all the 20
Wow.
firsts and they lay it on a shirt. So it's a cool one. So actually in the next week or so, both of those will be hitting the market.
Wow.
So.
And funnily, right, like I work with the company I work with is called B21, banking for the next 21 million or 21 million
Right.
bitcoins, right? So I mean, maybe we should also get in touch and see what we can do with
Definitely.
MetaFactory.
Yeah.
That
We'd
that
love
would
to.
be
Yeah.
that would be lovely. But this is pretty interesting to hear what you're doing with Metaverse. So I mean, probably closing statements. I want to understand, like, hey, what do you have any kind of message for Indians who are watching this, who want to get into blockchain, who want to understand what is happening, or like anything, right? Like anything you want to
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
I guess what's great about what we're doing with MetaFactory is there's a lot of crypto aspects. There's a lot of Web3 aspects, but at its kind of like basic core, we're producing physical merchandise. And so it's a very tangible thing, and it allows for an easier way to get involved and learn about these things, to participate as an artist, as a consumer. And then, the way we look at it is we're not selling just merch, we're selling experiences. And so, and we're providing these opportunities for people to explore DAOs and governance tokens to explore NFTs and wearables and virtual worlds and all the pieces that come out of that. And through this also is you're exposed to all these various amazing projects, protocols, and communities that are themselves doing great things, because we're making merchandise, and you're like, you might not know the group, right? You might not know the project, but you'll do a little research because you like the hoodie, or like because you like the t-shirt. So the marketing layer of that is exciting. But yeah, for you, if you're, or interested in this space but you don't know where to start, you're maybe not that very like that technical, we're a really inviting community, and it's a great place to kind of learn a lot through these kind of very tangible experiences and stuff. So if you're an artist as well, or a creator, or you work in the fashion space, or really any product development at all, come hop in, introduce yourself. We have community members and participants all around the world. So, we're more than happy to understand how, we can bring benefit also to your communities. So what, our goal is trying to grow support and interest and love for Web3 and what we're doing in the crypto space. So
I love it. I love your vision. And this is something we had spoken earlier. What you guys are doing is basically you're introducing crypto, or the space, the blockchain space in general, NFTs, metaverses, to people who really probably would never know about crypto, right? Like
right.
that is just amazing. And that even with the B21, that's our motive, right? Like we want to reach out to people like who have never heard about crypto, get them on board. So that is something you're doing as well, which is probably God's work. Like people probably will thank uh, us for introducing them to crypto, because this is here to stay.
Yeah, and it's still early too, so you're
Yeah.
kind of getting in early to a
Right.
project that may grow a lot. If you believe you may help us to grow. So it's also kind of helping others to think about how work, like what work is, how it's done, how value is captured again and shared. And so, we would love to have an army of freelancers who see us as like part-time, work. And as they have the time or the interest, they can jump in and help out. Or if they're too busy with something else, they can leave, step away for a bit. So it's meant to be very fluid in that sense as well. So
That's awesome. So Drew, thank you for joining us on the show. It was lovely to have you. It was a lovely conversation. We will post down your website, Discord, Twitter, everything down below. So
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been great.